Oh my goodness, it's a beautiful day, surrounded by grace. I'm here to say. All right, guys, so I'm at the creek because it's glorious and I wanted to ground before I showed up for clients later today and for my loved ones. And I thought a lot about the energy that is around us, surrounding us, um, around results and choices and just the emotions that people are feeling. And I wanted to come on and share my truth. It's controversial, so this may not be the right video for you, but it's my truth and it's what feels right for me. And something that I truly encourage my clients to do is step into their authenticity, to step up boldly and unapologetically as themselves, and recognize that being themselves can lead to controversy or disagreement or resistance, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that who they are is bad. It just means that that's what's right for them and it doesn't feel aligned for other people, and that's equally okay. I did not vote yesterday in last night's elections, and I took some heat for it. In fact, my family, they are staunch Democrats, and I was brought up um, believing that, you know, I had an obligation to vote. And I believed that for a really long time. But as I've become more attuned to myself, as I've become more attuned to the energy, my soul, and all of the studies that I immerse myself in, and the connection I have with everybody, for me, the Last Judgment in the Bible and much of the text I've read from the Tao Te Ching, the Bhagavad Gita, Thomas Martin, just a myriad of people. But really, even beyond that, my visceral knowing, my truth is that it's the last time we judge. Because how do you really truly love unconditionally and show up as love when you make a judgment, or you pick a side, or you um, label things good or bad, right or wrong? And so I didn't vote. To my family's chagrin, um, my two daughters, one of them identifies as gay, the other is certainly curious, rightfully so, and she gets to be because she's learning herself. And the narrative around all of what's going on is fear. And yet I still opted to stay in love, stay in curiosity, stay true to what feels right for me. And that doesn't mean that I tried to persuade my daughters to feel differently or to change their perspective. And it certainly doesn't mean that I was upset with family members who feel strongly about the fact that it is my civic obligation to vote. That's their truth, and I love that. But the reality is my truth is that for me to walk as love, I truly must love unconditionally. More than that, every wondrous, beautiful gift I have ever experienced, ever, has come from challenging seasons in my life, from growing up feeling unseen and unheard in my house, to struggling with drug and sex addiction, to experiencing sexual assault and trauma and being beaten. I wouldn't trade any of that because I unequivocally know that I'm loved, and I wouldn't know that if I didn't move through hard. And as I understand myself and what I come to know as creation and where we come from, we are love. We are from creation. We are source energy. And we co-create love when we stay in love. And we co-create fear when we enter into fear. Now, I'm human, guys. So I'm not going to tell you that I'm above having responses and preferences. I'm never going to lie, right? That's not truth. But the difference is I don't react on that. I sit in stillness until I find peace again. And that peace, I know my truth. I know my truth from a soul level, not from a logical level, because everything I know could never be put into words. It just can't. It's viscerally felt, it's understood. It's what Christ talks about, it's what Rumi talks about, it's what Hafiz talks about. It's what, you know, some of the greatest people who have made movements talk about. Recently, I placed a tattoo on my chest, and it says, "Live with courage, lead with love." This is probably the most poignant tattoo I own, and I love every single one of my tattoos because they all have a story. From the tattoo I got with Shelly to my Phoenix woman rising from ash after being bedridden by depression after a car accident. But the reality is, to lead with love, you must live with courage, because you must show up and do what feels right for your soul, despite the fact that what feels right for you may make no sense to anybody else. In fact, it will buck most of the people you love's ideas about what it is you need to do. Early this morning, I was talking to my brother, and with my family, I've kind of just said that the whole system is broken, because it's easier than to try to explain something that is so viscerally felt. But it's not about being broken, it's about unfolding into. And I believe that my job is to love and stay in love. And that means stay in love for the people who disagree with me, stay in love for the political people in power, and stay in love for each and every single person and their truth, because it is our truth that truly carries us. And I hope our truth leads us to more love, more compassion, more coming together rather than being divided. As I walked the path to this creek today, I saw beautiful people, who show up, and they tend their fields, and they care for the animals. And I saw the trees, and I saw the creek, and I saw everything unfolding in peace. And that's what I choose to live in. And again, guys, I'm not sitting here pretending I'm not human. I'm not sitting here saying that I didn't wake up and have some type of feelings about what's unfolding. But I always come back to what I know to be true, and that's love. And I can't love in fear. And I can't love in making up stories about what's going to happen, because truthfully, we're too small, guys. We don't know. And so all we can do is figure out how to nurture ourselves each and every moment and find ways to come home to peace. And when you think about the teachings around change being an internal job, be the change that you wish to see, that's true. Because when you fundamentally come home to love and compassion, to joy, I spent many of the moments sitting in joy today. Let me tell you, um, I can then show up as love, compassion, and joy for the world, for my children, for the people who I know are struggling immensely at this moment in time. I love you all, and I thank you for listening to my truth. And I encourage you to consider, what do you need to do for yourself to give yourself compassion? Because it's really about you. Focus on what feels good for you, and in doing so, you give everybody else permission to focus on what feels good for them. I appreciate and love you guys so much. Until later, when I jump on a live stream with